Hello, this is Suzy Nightingale unboxing the latest fabulous fragrances discovery box from the Perfume Society. Inside this gorgeous box you will find a wonderful postcard with all the information about fragrances on the back, but we are going to go through them in a little bit more detail. You can read much more about them in the smelling notes as well. But I want you to lay them out before you and have a good old sniff along with me today. The first one I want you to dive into is the Censure holographic. Censure are a brand that you've been absolutely loving on our website in our shop section, and I know lots of you have already tried many of their fragrances. Holographic is an invitation to go on a journey with your nose, as are all of their fragrances. But holographic, as the name suggests, really shape shifts. It changes on your skin and takes you on a journey, which I think is really exciting. So you've got this freshness up top with magnolia, there's some bergamot in there, infused with mango as well. But then this note of sea breeze comes through. So it's almost like a metallic floral at first that then warms on your skin and it shows another side to itself. So it's a bit like looking at a hologram where you can see both things at once and you can see through it, but it seems 3D. That's how this fragrance feels on my skin, and I want to know if it feels like that for you as well. And that within that you can find something that really expresses your true personality in perfume. Such an interesting way that it shapeshifts from that freshness, that slightly unusual, really modern floral, to this warm amber in the base with cedar and sandalwood. You've got some tonka bean in there for a bit of toasty almondy sweetness as well. So unusual, something I think I'm going to keep coming back to all season. Now, one of the key trending notes at the moment is cherry, and what an amazing fragrance to smell it within Creed Carmina. This is their latest launch, perfect for party season. There's something quite lipsticky about it, like a darker than I'm wearing today, sort of mulberry coloured lipstick with a fruitiness about it, but a sophistication, as there are with all Creed fragrances. They have this modernity with this charismatic elegance that I think is the signature of the house. And here the saffron has got a sizzle about it as it warms that cherry. There's pink pepper as well, which is like pops of piquancy within the fragrance as it warms on your skin. And then this glorious rose de mai, violet and cashmere wood swathed heart. Now there's peony in there as well. So again, this sort of floralcy balanced beautifully with the warmth and the spiciness coming through. And then in the base you get this frankincense note, incense like wafts that just drift around you and create this sort of cloak of sophistication. Love it. Now, another new brand to get excited about is OMG. And as the name suggests, they really want to do things very differently. And Floor Funk is the fragrance that we have selected for fabulous fragrances. Now, I have written about this as well in a piece I did about orange blossoms that I think are perfect to wear at any time of year, but especially in the autumn. We can think of them as being very fresh, summery, pretty scents, but this to me brings out, yes, it's got freshness with pear, which has sort of juicy, aquacious note in there. There's violet leaf, but the orange blossom is suffused with this mossiness and the woody musk of the base, and it's just beautiful to wear. It feels like autumnal sunshine, I think. And really this box was curated with the idea that you can feel fabulous every day with a fragrance. It doesn't matter if you're going to a party and party season, or you're just staying at home, you're doing the shopping, whatever it is, whatever that role is you're playing that day, you can choose who you want to be. So you can choose something comforting, or you can choose something uplifting and reviving, or something a bit more mysterious and unusual perhaps. Now, Floor Funk really falls into that last category, I think. And another really unusual one is Eccentric Molecules. It's their M Plus Black Tea. So you, I am sure, will have heard or have tried the original Eccentric 01, Molecule 01. Schön is the brilliant founder and perfumer, and he has mixed the original molecule, which is ISO Super, and he wanted to showcase that as an ingredient on its own because it has such complexity. It smells different on everyone. People are completely addicted to it. And with other notes, it's like faceting that original molecule and bringing out other notes around it. So by adding black tea, there's almost this leathery hay-like quality that's revealed within the ISO Super. So you get that smooth, buttery, woody, ambery note that so many people have adored for so long. And then there's this velvety smoothness, but with added depth to it. So perfect for this time of year or any time you want to wear it. I think these are absolutely brilliant. I mean, he's a genius. He's just a genius. And I like them all, but I think of the new M+, this is my favourite, just for that added complexity and how deep and unusual it is. Oh my goodness, talking of favourite fragrances. Ingenious Ginger by Goldfield and Banks. It is one of my top 10 fragrances of the entire year, I think. Maybe of all time, I don't know. It's just, I've worn it so much. I get such pleasure from it. It has this radiant sparkle about it. It does ginger in a really interesting way because it's like freshly sliced ginger. So it's watery, it's quenching and mouth-watering, but it still has that warmth about it. And it's balanced with bergamot and lemon for extra zestiness. But then you get this mandarin, jasmine, rose infusion in the heart. And then as it warms, that sandalwood that runs through it, so silky and smooth, warms to the patchouli, the vanilla, the musk, the cashmeran and the amber. It's an absolute tour de force of a fragrance. I think it's like throwing a handful of glitter in the air and having it caught in a sunbeam and just watching all those little motes of glitter sparkle as they fall. It's so uplifting yet warming. I think it's just an absolute modern classic, and I know that phrase is bandied about, but you have to try this on your skin. I think it really smells very different on the blotter. It's much more drier, it's much spicier, I think, on the blotter on your skin. It's more of a background warmth with that sparkle of freshness shot through it. Amazing. Now, another house that I've loved exploring this year is Granado. Now, they were founded in Rio de Janeiro in 1870, so it's a classic brand in Brazil, but one that we're just discovering in the UK. And do visit their gorgeous store in London if you can, in Ham Yard. It's so beautiful, so many gifting ideas. And this one is Granado Expedo. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Their fragrances have such a classic quality, so they're sort of cologne-like but with much more depth and staying power. And this one is evoking the Atlantic rainforest, so they will take you on various journeys. And this one it's got that pininess you would expect, but then it's mixed with iris and frankincense. There's lemon and black pepper in there as well, and then cedar, sandalwood and amber in the base. So it's like walking through a forest, but experiencing this moment to yourself. So it feels like you're the only person alive in the world, I would say. There's a tenderness to this fragrance. So it shows that you can feel fabulous in a fragrance that isn't shouting. It's not massively bold and entering the room before you do, but it's a fragrance to wear for yourself, I would say, more. So this is an everyday go-to fragrance for feeling fabulous just whenever, which, my goodness, we need this time of year. Now, I think this one personally is more of a party fragrance, and it's Lancome Idol. I'm sure you know their beautiful makeup ranges, their stunning fragrances, and Idol is such a classic within the house. it has that feeling of just being you in a fragrance, and that's what they wanted, to give confidence, but not shoutingly, not screaming in your face. This is just, I'm comfortable in my own skin and I smell amazing. So there's pear and bergamot and pink pepper in here, but then the floral heart, I think, is what makes it, that rose and jasmine. It smells like a lot of their lipsticks to me as well. There's something that really connects to the makeup, which I also adore. But then it dries down to this hushed white musk vanilla infused woody base with a little ripple of patchouli in there for added depth. I think it's understated, but it says so much at the same time. And I think sometimes that's when you feel the most fabulous, the most like yourself. So good. Now, if I said to you strawberry perfume, you might think of something really sickly and a bit childish maybe, but Melon GS, that cult house, love this packaging by the way, all completely biodegradable. Melon GS always do things in a really different way. So they will take a sort of singular note and they will highlight that, but in such unusual, unexpected ways. So strawberry, it's like a deconstructed lifespan of a strawberry plant. So you get a sort of leafiness. You get from bud to fruit. So yes, you get the juiciness, but it's like dewdrops on the petals of the strawberry flowers. It's like picking a strawberry and smelling the greenness of the snapped stems, the stalks of the strawberries themselves. And even like an underripe strawberry, you know, when they go from white to suddenly they get that blush pink and then they go fully red. It's like eating an underripe strawberry maybe. So it's nowhere near as sweet as you would imagine a strawberry fragrance to be, but utterly fascinating. And I think this is so beautiful to wear when we need that feeling of freshness and something to take our nose on an adventure that's beyond our expectations. And Melon GS 100% do that. Now, another adventure you can take, and another walk through a forest actually, which I think is such a beautiful theme. This is Misir Palandra K. Now, Misir is the house of Alberto Morillas, master perfumer, who's done amazing fragrances for every house you can think of, won so many awards. This is his own house where he gets to do exactly what he wants, and the Misir fragrances are like snapshots of his brain. It's like getting to see how his mind works in fragrant form. Palandra K is as I say, it's that moment of walking through a forest where you feel like you've entered another world, and everything, all the smells are really heightened at night as well. And so yes, this has the sort of woodiness. There's Gaiac wood in here, which is quite a dark sort of smoky wood. There's notes of freshness in here as well with elemi and cistus and cypriol, but then you've got a little sprinkling of nutmeg, so it's cool. There's a balance of cool and warmth going on 100%. And then patchouli, musk and sandalwood in the base. Now, to me, this is a beautiful fragrance. All of these are completely unisex, can be worn by anyone. This, to me, I think perhaps leans slightly more traditionally masculine, but only in the way that woody fragrances often do. So it's a stunning one for anyone to wear, and especially when perhaps you feel a bit trapped, you want to push the walls out and feel as though you're just somewhere else. You've been transported to this magical forest that's captured in the moonlight. Beautiful. Another favourite fragrance of mine this year has been Parfum de Marly Altair. Now, I was lucky enough to smell this just before it launched. The PR gave me a sample and said, I want you to smell this. And oh my goodness, I was absolutely addicted from the first sniff. It is orange blossom done in the most unusual way. It's got this warmth and woodiness about it. There's a touch of sort of almost cigar smoke in the air, in a wood panel gentleman's club or something. But it's got this sizzle of cinnamon. There's some cardamom in there as well. And this Bourbon Vanilla. Now, if you read our Feast of Fragrance Scented Letter magazine issue, you will know that I have dedicated pages and pages to writing about the latest trends, which is this new take on very grown up, very different ways of doing gourmand. And that's just completely taken over the fragrance industry. Everyone's mad for vanillas again all of a sudden. And the vanilla in this is so rich and addictive, but dry as well. There's something so sophisticated about it. It's not sugary at all. And with that orange blossom, it is a marriage made in heaven. Now, another fragrance brand that we are loving exploring at the Perfume Society is Pictor Parfums. They are all inspired by the art of photography and the sort of process of developing them, and how that's a bit like how notes develop on your skin, and how the image isn't fully there until it's worn and warmed on your skin, and then you get to see if it's for you or not. And that's why these boxes are so brilliant, of course, because you get to try the fragrances as many times as you like on your own skin. It's not a one spray and off you go, or you buy it immediately and you don't see how it settles and warms on your skin, and how the mood strikes you that day, how you feel, who you want to be that day might completely differ, and so your feelings toward the fragrances differ as your mood changes. And you might feel fabulous in all of them, or there might be one that you're particularly drawn to. Now, the Pictor Parfums fragrance that has been selected for this box is Flash. And as it suggests, it's that moment where the camera flash goes off and you are captured in that image. And let's say it's not a terrible selfie, it's not a photo that you're going to be tagged in and immediately want taken down. This is you captured at your best, maybe slightly off guard, maybe laughing, clinking a drink with friends, and somehow you just shine through, your personality shines through in that photograph. And so here you've got this immediate zoom, this zing of notes. There's pink pepper and ginger and raspberry, and then there's creamy rose, really beautiful rose with ylang-ylang in the heart, and then powdery musk that settles down to vanilla again and tonka bean. It is so beautiful, so sweet, so gorgeous, and yet perfectly balanced. And I think this is another perfect party perfume, by the way. Now, a house that I have loved for so long with the most amazing history is Robert Piguet, and this fragrance Notes is a celebration of the way that music and fragrance are entwined, but it's also the notes that Piguet himself most loved, and they've incorporated those into this fragrance, which is such a celebration of the man himself, the designer, and the history of the house, but taking it forward in such a modern way. Now, Notes has got Calais sage, such an unusual fragrance note that I adore. It's kind of powdery and soft, but herbaceous and woody. So many different things on so many different skins, and geranium as well, which is a note that I've really fallen in love with lately. So that sort of woody, stemmy rosiness, but it's like you can smell the thorns of the rose, and yet it's not a rose, it's something else completely. It's got a more greenness about it, herbaceousness. Then orange flower, one of my all-time favourite notes. Thank you, Robert Piguet, for also loving that. And oak moss, vetiver, and tonka bean in the base. Oak moss is just, it's one of those sort of mystical notes that just adds this je ne sais quoi to a fragrance that nothing else can. Love it in here. It is so unusual. There's a vintage feel to it, but with a total modernity that means you can absolutely wear it now. It doesn't feel like you're in a historical costume. Now, also in this box, we have included these two adorable little minis from Penhaligon's, and it is the Quirkus hand and body wash and lotion. So you can use this however you want. Brilliant for taking away on holiday, for popping in your bag if you get to, you go somewhere and you want to wash your hands and they haven't got any soap left, or it's just really bad quality soap. Life is too short to use bad quality soap, and we want it to smell amazing, and for your hands and body to be beautifully moisturised. Quirkus is Latin for oak, and it is the oak that's at the heart of the fragrance. And if you've tried the fragrance, oh my goodness, you know how amazing it is. Completely timeless with that, I think, uniquely Penhaligon's way of doing something that has a heritage feel, but in a modern wearable way. And it's lemon, lime and mandarin and bergamot, so fresh and juicy and beautiful. Galbanum, so it feels like freshly snapped stalks again and being outside in the fresh air. And then there's jasmine, lily of the valley, oak moss again. And then this woody, smooth, sandalwood rich base that's just warmed with a touch of amber and radiant with musk. I think it's a great way to layer fragrance, but it's a great way to try the fragrance for a first time if you've never tried it. I think you might be going to buy a bottle of the fragrance as well once you try those. Now, we hope that you will feel fabulous in all of these fragrances, and definitely let us know if you've been particularly drawn to one. We love hearing your stories of fragrances that you've tried in these boxes that perhaps you never would have tried before, or you're thinking about in a different way because you've got time to try them in your own house. Well, I hope you just feel fabulous throughout the season whenever you wear these, and maybe you could give some to a friend as well if you're feeling generous, so they can feel fabulous too. Until next time, take care.